Here we go. Wonky bi, wonky b, wonky bi. It's time for knight f3, I guess. Played a couple of d4 games, says white. Okay. Let's go for a reti kind of thing. So he does play e4. So the reti gambit here with c5, f5. You know, I was playing this backwards. The reti is knight to f3. I played knight to c3 and b3. What to do here? So I guess I'll go for Queen's Indian. I go for a Queen's Indian with colors reversed. Queen's Indian defense with colors reversed. Too bad I can't castle over here. Okay, so I'm gonna try and get in. What happens if I play f4? Knight here, queen check, and I get mated. Or I could play with d4, takes, knight takes, queen takes, and then develop my bishop. Somehow I have to get something going on the dark squares here. Well, if he plays that way, then I can maybe play h4 and knight f4 to develop my knight and to get the lines cleared for my bishop. Well, this is a very unusual position for me. What country is that? Spain. Okay, so that would be one, and maybe Kiwi is or maybe it's Juan K. Ibi, and that's short for some last name. Anyway, okay, I was going to develop my knight there. Let's go ahead with that. Could lift up my queen and castle queenside here. Maybe that makes more sense in this position. At least my opponent will have to think what to do in this crazy position. Black has more space and seemingly straightforward development, so black should not be in any particular trouble. Here, let's kick the bishop and see if he wants to keep that pin on. I can break it with b4. I don't think it'll be good to sacrifice a piece, yeah. So if I bring the bishop out here and he kicks it, I will have to trade. And that will open up the G file. Let's just put the bishop here. Okay, and he's keeping my knight from, or bishop from coming to the b5 square anyway. Okay, so pawn here, I can't get away with that. Pawn here, pawn takes, bishop takes, knight takes, queen takes, bishop takes. That bishop over there is also defending the square. Let's see if I can manage to get in g4. Also maybe distracting his pieces from defense of his d-pawn. He is a potential idea here. And my king for the moment is staying in the center. I'll just have to see where it goes as the game continues. Yeah, there he goes. I realized I'm sacrificing the exchange here. He takes and I take with the rook. Okay, what if I stop here? How many pieces? He's up a whole piece, so I can't stop here. Got to keep going. So I'm sacking the exchange and hoping to get a pawn here. And, oh, he's taking there. He doesn't take... Did not take my rook. That's a bit surprising. Let's go ahead and go with saving my rook. Also, I've got a check here now that the rook is out of the way. The rook was in the way of the queen, but queen check here would not win the bishop, but maybe it's good for something with the knight here. And with the rook here and the knight here, maybe that's a devastating check. Could be. He didn't castle. Trying to exploit my peculiar play rather than castling himself. It'll be interesting to check this out in the opening book and see what the heck kind of opening this is. Yeah, so it looks like queen check here leads to mate. The king can't escape. It goes to f8. Yeah, so the queen comes out to protect f8. Let's go with the check anyway. Now the king can go to f8. It could also have gone to... it also could have gone to e8, I guess. I mean d8. But he didn't want to. Well, it chases my rook away, but my rook can go here, hitting his knight. My knight can come in here with check, but that's guarded. And here it's guarded. I can castle queenside here. But first, let's see if we can save the rook. This queen needs to hold on to the bishop. Queen and bishop look like they're coordinating on f2 or trying to. But that square is not, the knight's in the way, so they're not getting to it. If I castle, I give up the f2 square and give up the f2 pawn. So maybe that's not so attractive. So I am threatening to take the knight because rook takes knight, queen takes, then queen takes bishop. So he goes there. Okay, so now I can bring in this knight. No, I can't. I can't bring in that knight because knight takes, I can't. I could take with the queen. Queen's on that square too. Knight takes, queen takes. And this knight is still here, like a rock defending my position. And it opens up the possibility of maybe something happening on this diagonal. That's not going to help, all right? He does get a check. Okay, so let's think about this carefully. I can't go up. If I go back, he can check along the back rank. The rook is defended. Let's go sideways and then back. He's got this mate hanging over his head here, so he can't be too adventurous. The question is, does he get a perpetual? So my idea was to block with the knight. If he checks here, Ah, okay, so he goes with the bishop. Okay, yeah, maybe he gets a perpetual. Knight is still covering this square. Mate is still hanging against his king. So he has to operate with check all the time. So I think he has a perpetual. Can check from this square. Or this square. Or that square, yeah. So from that square, can't go here or here. Huh. Maybe he's trying to get, oh no, he's trying to go like that. The queen could also have checked from here. So now it's getting tight. I don't want to go here because the check here is mate, so I have to go this way. Is this mate? I guess, now when I go up here, he doesn't have any checks along the back rank, so it's not mate. And I will keep running. Where is the next check? He's got to run out of checks sooner or later. At this point, I mean, I think he had a perpetual earlier, but, well, we can check that out. I don't see another check here. I mean, not one that does any good. Takes the knight. Okay, so I can get the queens off. Whose advantage is that to get the queens off? With the trade of queens, I will have 2 rooks and a bishop, and he will have 2 rooks and a bishop, and I will have 1, 2, 3, 4 pawns, and he will have 1, 2, 3 pawns. And this pawn maybe is a passed pawn, but it's also a bit loose. Okay, so that's one possibility. So queen here, check. Queen takes, king takes. It is his move. But his king is tied up. I don't have any, he doesn't have any great answers there. Let's see, what else can I do here? I could check from this diagonal, on this diagonal from here, setting up a mate on this square. So the king will then run here. Queen could check here. King will go back. Bishop. If I could get the bishop into the game with tempo, huh? Okay, got to get the queens off. I'm running low on time. Or take the queen. Okay, well that's cool. We will check that out in the postmortem and see if I still had a win there or not, and if he also had a drawing idea there with a perpetual check. Anyway, see you guys later. Bye.